make the right decision downtown. So he make the right decision for Dallas Airport, but also make the right decision around the neighborhood. And so it's great to have someone who in charge of the airports, which is 1,000-acre land, but also in charge of everything around the airport, would make the great mixed-use development of the entire airport. And with that, Casey, you want to be ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So give it up to District. And remember, this is an open forum, so be kind, be direct, and give him an opportunity to ask a question, to answer a question. If he cannot get the answer, he will get back to you. One thing we do, Casey, number one, we do to get our email address. So the person who cannot answer, we deliver it to you. You get back to them. So therefore, everybody knows exactly what's going on. Again, Casey Thomas.
Good afternoon. I'm sure it's close to noon, so good afternoon. So I want to say thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be here. I want to acknowledge another elected official who's here, Dallas County School Board, and one of the constituents of District 3, C.W. Whitaker. If you know anything, if you know C.W., you know he doesn't like getting any accolades or anything, but I have to say this. Anybody who's had any kind of conversation with me knows that my primary focus has been on not just growing south, but attracting and retaining the middle class here in Dallas. It's something that I've been really working really hard at. And CW helped us. What happened is Carter and Kimball High School, you think Oak Cliff, you think Carter and Kimball High School. And so what we did is we had a press conference for the game, the Oak Cliff Super Bowl. We had a press conference for the game. We had the head coach of both teams. We had the principal of both teams. And we had both drum lines that were there. And so when it came to transportation, get the kids down there, we didn't have any problem with having to pay any money because C.W. Whitaker, being on the Dallas County School Board, made sure that those kids had transportation from school to City Hall and back to school. So I want to thank him and give him a round of applause for doing that, even though it was I'm going to try and stick to the script as much as possible. I was given some specifics to talk about, but I may kind of go into a few other things. First of all, as Nell said, a little bit about me. Several people here I hadn't met before. I'm from Dallas, born and raised here in Dallas. Grew up in the Pleasant Grove area, proud graduate of Skyline High School, went to the University of North Texas, where I graduated with a Bachelor of Business Administration, Human Resource Management, spent 16 years in the classroom, 10 years in DISD, 5 years in Cedar Hill, and 1 year at a Nova Academy Charter School. And most recently, I was at Thomas Edison Middle School in West Dallas, where I spent the past 3 years, and now this is what I do full time. I'm a full-time city council member. I'm available, I'm expected to be available as needed, and so I try and make myself available as needed. During the campaign, me and my wife had several conversations about the responsibilities and expectations, and so when the phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning, she may look at me funny, but she knows they kind of come to work. So I just want to give you a little bit of background about me. As former Mayor Pro Tem Atkins said, I was president of the NAACP here in Dallas, so I'm very knowledgeable about community issues. I serve as Vice Chair of the Economic Development Committee. I'm also on the Housing Committee. I'm on the Transportation Trinity River Committee, and the mayor appointed me to be the council liaison to the Growth South Advisory Council. My specific, I have a couple of responsibilities that relates to that. One in particular is to attend and assist the meetings of the Growth South Advisory Council, but also to keep my colleagues on the council informed of Growth South projects. Something I'm really excited about, I can't take credit for it, is on Monday, there's going to be the groundbreaking for a new hotel down at the Canyon, right at 30 in Westmoreland. And so I know a lot of work was done through council. Mr. Atkins was chair of economic development most recently, and so I know he had a role, a critical role to play in that. So we're excited that we're getting ready to have a new hotel in south of 30. And I think it's this is probably one of the most exciting times. I'm a little biased. It's one of the most exciting times to live in Dallas and live in Southern Dallas, and I'm honored to have an opportunity to serve on the Dallas City Council. I've had, for about a little bit more than 100 days, I've had 13 community meetings. One of the reasons why is I believe that it's important that we keep the constituents and the people that live in the city informed of what's going on in the city. Too often, we've been accused of having secret information or not sharing information, and I think the city is moving in the right direction when we talk about transparency and getting information out and making sure that people have access to information. So I had 4 budget town hall meetings in each of the 4 areas of the district. Mountain Creek, which is where I live, which is at 20 and Mountain Creek Parkway in that area. In Singing Hills, we had a community meeting, budget town hall meeting with Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Eric Wilson. Had one at Hampton, Illinois Library with Councilman Scott Griggs. And then I had one, the first one was at Thurgood Marshall Recreation Center. And so, as a result of those budget town hall meetings, we got, we were informed that we wanted to maintain, and I asked at each of the meetings, we're in a position to where we don't have to raise taxes, we had an increase in revenue, so we're in a position to where we can give some money back, or we can continue to provide the level of services that you become accustomed to. And overwhelmingly, some people talk specifically about streets, others talk about code enforcement and things of that nature. And so we agreed to maintain the tax rate and provide the level of services that our citizens have become accustomed to. A couple of things that I'm excited about. One is Grow South in general, and I say that because I commend Mayor Mike Rollins and those who partnered with him when he first was elected, with a need to put a focus on the southern part of the city. And he often says, it's not a charity case, it's an investment opportunity. And in each opportunity that he has to speak, he emphasizes that it's an investment opportunity. And we want to look at it as an investment opportunity, an opportunity for anybody to be in position to take advantage of this investment opportunity. And so what I was going to bring up, and unfortunately we couldn't bring it up, I don't know how many of you had an opportunity to attend Mayor Rollins' Grow South Year 4 update. It was in Trinity Groves. But what he specifically talked about was 10 indicators. Unfortunately, I don't have them memorized, but there are 10 indicators when basically that he's using to evaluate how effective we're being in terms of going south. One relates to a culture of clean. I often talk about this when we talk about economic development and wanting to see more businesses invest in more people to live south. We have to have a clean, we have to have a safe community, clean, safe neighborhood. Those two things are critical. If it's not clean, it's not safe, then you probably wouldn't even want to live in the neighborhood. So we want to have a strong emphasis on that. Something that I think the city made a great decision in doing, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Neighborhood Plus. I hosted probably about 5 different community meetings on Neighborhood Plus. Neighborhood Plus is a plan the city just voted and approved to be the official plan for neighborhood revitalization for the city of Dallas. And there's a couple things that have me excited about Neighborhood Plus. One in particular is for the first time the city now city staff is working together when we talk about moving forward with projects. You have planning, you have neighborhood revitalization, you have community development, economic development. They're all working together with a neighborhood focus when we talk about improving and redeveloping neighborhoods. I think that's something that just long overdue. And fortunately, it's a time to change. When I was elected, came on the council, it was 6 of us who came on the council. 2 years prior to that, there were 5. So in the past, about 2.5 years, we've had 11 new council members out of 14. And so because of that, there's opportunity to kind of to do things differently, to look at ways in which we can work together, whether you represent North, you represent South, you live North or South. What are some commonalities that we can identify that's good for the city of Dallas? And so when we talk about Neighborhood Plus is centered around the collective impact model. Real simple. The way it's designed is you will have individuals, and the mayor chose 3 target areas. Lexington Keys Corridor, Education Corridor, as we know as UNT Dallas, and then Parkdale, Urbandale. These were 3 of the target areas that initially were chosen by the mayor. The council will choose 4, maybe 5 more areas, and what's going to happen initially is each of those areas you're going to have someone who's basically a project manager. That person will be responsible for going out into the neighborhood, meeting with neighborhood leaders and community leaders in those specific target areas and finding out what are the issues, what are the concerns that are going on. Well, that manager's job will be to come back and report to a board those details. And the board will be made up of representatives of various governmental entities. You'll have Clay Jenkins, who is the county judge at the county level, who I know spoke maybe a couple of weeks ago here. I think it was the inaugural speaker. Then you'll have AC, or Alan Sims. Some of you are familiar with Alan Sims. Alan Sims was the city manager for a number of years for Cedar Hill. He's now the chief of Neighborhood Plus. His job is to make sure Neighborhood Plus is implemented. You'll have Thomas with Dart, who will be on that board. You will have someone from Dallas ISD, probably Dr. Hannah Holton. You'll have one from Dallas County Schools. You'll have someone from Laura Larea with Texas Workforce Commission. And so you'll have someone, matter of fact, Larry James was chosen to represent the nonprofits. And so what it's designed to do is once that general manager, that's the official title, comes back and makes a report to the board, what the board will do will provide services, provide staff. Let's say, for instance, they determine in, let's say, the Langston Keys corridor that there's a low graduation rate. Dropout rate is high. You don't have enough individuals there who have GEDs, and because of that, then we don't have enough people that qualify for jobs. Well, then you would have, let's say, ESD that would be responsible for coming in and providing some type of GED training and things of that nature. So this board will be responsible for providing those services to help to improve and to stabilize those neighborhoods. And so that was officially, maybe about a month ago or so, it was voted on, and so now the city is in the process of identifying what's going to be the strategy, short-term and long-term, in those targeted areas. Some of you may be aware of the fact that Southwest Center Mall went to auction a few months ago. Matter of fact, it was interesting, somewhere that I put a lot of personal focus because it's specifically in District 3. It's a shopping center. It's Redbird 67 Square, which is, most people know it as a shopping center where Sac and Save used to be. And so both of these assets to Oak Cliff, they both went to auction the same weekend. Well, I had an opportunity question come in.
Wait, at the end, when you finish, we open up for questions.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir.
Excuse me,
Right.
sir. We when he finished, we can open for questions. Let me finish presentation.
I
Thank
thought
you.
this was question
But
and
no,
answer
not right now.
time.
Not right now. Thank you, sir.
All right.
I'll
Really
take maybe
appreciate it.
5 to 7 more minutes. But I'm saying both of these shopping centers that are access to Oak Cliff went to auction the same weekend. And as a result of this process, there's a gentleman, his name is Payman Intabera. He has most of his experience prior to this had been in multifamily, but now not only have they purchased, his company purchased the mall, but they're looking to really see how the strip mall, they're looking to really see how it can do some really redevelopment in a way in which the neighborhood and the community will be proud of. The Southwest Center Mall recently was purchased by a guy by the name of Peter Brodsky, and I've gotten to know Peter and Payne. I call him P&P. I had a meeting just this past Monday in Hampton, Illinois Library, community meeting, where we had Peter and Payman, and both of them came and they talked about what they plan to do at both of these locations. We had over 100 people, and for a Monday night, I thought that was, said a lot about the interest that this community has in those two particular locations. Peter Brodsky is the chairman of the board of KIP Academy. Peter has been, very involved in Southern Dallas in particular. And so once he made the purchase, we went to lunch and he began talking about, and more than anything, asking. He did a lot more listening than talking. What would I as a council member like to see at the mall? He's had a number of meetings with community leaders and others to find out what specifically they would like to see at the mall. Do they want the name Redbird, which if you live in Oak Cliff and spend any time in Oak Cliff, Redbird just has, it connects with people at a certain level. I'm 43, and so a lot of my friends and contemporaries, that was our hangout. And so it's a special place for us. And so when you hear someone who's saying, hey, what do you think about maybe Shops of Redbird, or including the name Redbird, bringing Redbird back, it elicited a certain sense of excitement, optimism for many of those who were present and in attendance. And so we really believe that these two gentlemen have the right motive. They have the wherewithal in order to see that that this area is redeveloped. And then, as we know, here at the airport, I had a lot of catching up to do. But one thing I thought was important, and those who've had any interaction with council, during the month of July, the council is in recess. And so I thought it was important that for that month, for me not to take a recess, for me to meet with staff, and I met with Mark and Darrell, and we've had a number of conversations here, because when we came back in August, I wanted to be able to hit the ground running. And because of that, I think that's been extremely beneficial. And those of you who are here know some of the challenges that we've had here, but also the potential for this airport. So I'm excited. We'll be briefed on Monday, as a matter of fact, in the Economic Development Committee on the master plan. And then it will be presented to the council. I think there's a lot of growth opportunity here. I think that I want to commend former Mayor Pro Tem Atkins for his involvement here and his commitment here, and he reaching out to me and sharing some insight with me about it. And I look forward to sitting down with several of you. Me and George just talked about sitting down real soon and getting your thoughts and your input on how we should go forward with the airport. Once the runway is complete, I think it's going to create a greater opportunity for this airport to be an example and a model of what GAs could be. So I've done a lot of talking.
What is that going to be?
I'm sorry?
What is that going to be?
I'm almost finished. So I've done a lot of talking, and hopefully you have a better idea about me and who I am. Hopefully, my passion and commitment. I'm very excited about this opportunity. If the good Lord says the same, I make it an 8-year commitment to be here and to see so many of these things come to fruition. And so there's no doubt some of the people in the room are living live in District 3, and we've had several conversations, and I think they know that I'm committed to this, and I'm open to learn things that's going to help me be a better council member for District 3, and then also a better representative here in the city of Dallas. So at this time, I'll entertain any questions you may have. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know. I'm not going to pretend, but I will find out, and I will get back with you. So I appreciate you for having me, and look forward to coming back soon.
Okay, so when we're expanding